We don't interfere in other people's affairs.
The United Nations Security Council is expected to address once more the issue of the elections of Zimbabwe. While preparing the coming AU summit in Egypt, the African Union Commission refused to condemn Robert Mugabe's re-election.
We are here playing the role of guardians. I don't want to use the word watchdogs. It's too complicated. But guardian of these values. We have been elected also for that.
If reactions remained cautious around Africa, members of the G8 said could not accept the legitimacy of a government that does not reflect the will of the Zimbabwean people.
On the 7:30 news, but before we go, a reminder of the major stories.
The effective takeoff of ELECAM has been extended by 6 months, less than 24 hours to its effective implementation in Cameroon. The amendment was conducted amid heated debates in Parliament today.
And as you saw in the news, an old people's home worth about 200 million CFA francs has been opened at Kome, some 65 kilometers from the nation's capital. And the next newscast is coming out at 8:30 and will be presented by
Zakiatu Bubakari and Andre Desire Amuko.
And from all of us, it's all good night and thanks for staying tuned to CRTV. Good night. Independent Elections Organ, ELECAM, that was expected to go operational today has been prolonged by 6 months by the members of Parliament. In this newscast, we look at the considerations behind the extension.
And in Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe has been sworn in as president of that country following a landslide victory after Friday's controversial elections. Despite pressure, Mugabe is now en route to participate in the African Union Summit, which begins in Egypt tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this 7:30 newscast. The National Assembly has adopted the bill to amend and supplement certain provisions of the law laying down the organization and functioning of Elections Cameroon, ELECAM.
The Independent Elections Organ, which was expected to go operational from today, the 29th of June 2008, following a presidential proposition, has been given 6 more months by members of Parliament.
Bonnie Mwa reports on what considerations were taken for the extension and also what will be obtained in the field before ELECAM goes operational in Cameroon.
The adoption of the bill, which extends the putting in place of Elections Cameroon, ELECAM, from the initial period of 18 to 24 months by members of Parliament, has once more brought to bear the bipolar nature of the National Assembly. The opposition Social Democratic Front SDF thinks the government is taking Cameroonians for a ride.
We think that government is not doing the right thing at the right time. In 2006, we did ask government to permit to many Cameroonians as possible to debate on this law. Government insisted on putting it in place. And all what was necessary to have a perfect document was not done. Now, all what is necessary to have a good document is not in place. So I think government is, diverting attention as usual.
The ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM, says for an important organ like ELECAM, more time is needed.
Government is very honest, government is determined, government is prepared to give us a structure which deserves respect, which will be acceptable to Cameroonians and also to the rest of the international community.
We cannot put ELECAM in place and tomorrow, in 2 months' time, we will criticize. I think they are going to put a perfect institution for Cameroonians to be happy.
In effect, by giving 6 additional months to set up and lay down the organization and functioning of ELECAM means that as of now, the National Elections Observatory (NEO) and other electoral state bodies shall continue to carry out their respective duties in the country. If, for example, regional and senatorial elections were to be organized in the country in the next 6 months, NEO would definitely be the organ to do so. But since no elections have been announced for the next few months, the benefits of the doubt could be given to the government.
Some 30 magistrates and court registrars have ended a week-long seminar to update their knowledge on the mastering of African business law, known as OHADA.
The seminar, which was organized by the Ministry of Justice with support from the African Development Bank, falls in line with government's objective to render the judiciary efficient and credible. Luma Slim Davis reports.
The dispensation of justice in the proper manner plays an important role in the general advancement of the nation. Proper training of personnel is therefore required to ensure that the judicial sector operates to uphold justice for all. The week-long seminar was tailored to update magistrates and court registrars on technicalities of the OHADA law.
The seminar gave me the opportunity to know some of the details which are found in the Green Book, as they call it. You know, how to build up a company, how to register a company, and how to get collaterals to be able to get finances. It equally raised the idea of having a uniform platform in which investors can come into Africa and put in their monies with no fear.
The seminar could be said to have come at the right time, especially when one considers that it had been revealed that the judicial sector in Cameroon is suffering from insufficiency. And moreover, the organization of the harmonization of business law in Africa is new.
The Minister of Urban Development and Housing has called for peace, unity and discipline within the CPDM in Banja subdivision in the West Province.
Minister Clobet Chatad equally called on the supporters of the party in the locality to act as liaison between government and the population by communicating government actions to the people.
CRTV's Chi Tandi was in Banja in the Upper Kam division and came back with the following report.
Banja people, one official said this weekend, support the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement in their majority. They gave the ruling CPDM 65% of the votes in the Upper Kam North constituency during last year's municipal and parliamentary elections. The party officials at the local level are barely 1 year in office, and the assessment from the elite and party hierarchy is that most of the local leaders are weak and dormant as far as party meetings are concerned, and in addition, do not have a mastery of the existing CPDM basic texts.
A message of unity, a message of peace, discipline within the party. We call for all our militants to be constantly on the field to communicate with the population about the action of the party, the action of the government.
Attendance at the Joint Sections Conference in the likes of the one organized this weekend in Banja, in the words of the Banja Section President, is not very impressive. Mr. Germain Fankin promised they will handle the nonchalance of the local bureau members with respect to the CPDM basic texts. Earlier, the Banja Section President appealed for the creation of more basic organs of the CPDM in Banja. Infrastructure, even though the Section President enumerated some of the roads were graded within this year. They also have problems of electricity and water. These people believe that it is only in unity that they will resolve these problems. And this is what Mr. Jean-Bernard Sinder said he retained is the main challenge in all the speeches made at the Joint Sections Conference. They drafted and read out a motion of support to the national president of the party, President Paul Biya, and the entire elite and the Central Committee delegation to Banja is comforted that the foundation for better days for the party is laid in Banja in the Upper Kam North.
Still in party politics, militants of the women's wing of the CPDM Mefu and Akono Southwest have been advised to put into practice lessons acquired from their just-ended two-day workshop.
The personal representative of the National Bureau President of the WCPDM, Mrs. Helen Temfak, was speaking recently in Akono at the end of a two-day WCPDM workshop on the new vision and militantism of the CPDM party.
Meanwhile, the president of the Mefu and Akono WCPDM, Blanche Tabimanga, promised to overcome the women's development challenges. Limunga Billy Eko was in Akono and now reports.
When the Mefu and Akono Southwest wing of the WCPDM settled down at their Cornerstone College for a two-day workshop. It was in a bid to brainstorm on a new vision for the party and reinforcing militantism. Militantism as seen through this March past. During the workshop, a three-point agenda took the women through a school of examining the importance of militantism, the need to relaunch the state's economy through a participative development program for the rural women.